I want you to raise your hand quietly. What do you notice? What do you notice, Briseda?
That is blank.
It's blank, right? It's empty. Good job. What else do you notice? Here you go, Briseda. Got it. What else do you notice? Diana? It's a 20s frame. Good job. Way to use that word. What else do you notice, Christopher? Perfect. You notice that there is 10 on top and that there is 10 on the bottom. What else do you notice, Alexa? One more noticing them. What should you get?
I noticed that there's a black line.
You're noticing that there is a darker black line down the center. And what does that dark black line tell us?
That it's a tennis frame.
Where are the 10s frames and the 20s frame?
Top and the bottom.
Not the top and the bottom. What does that black line separate?
Fives.
No. Yeah, 5 and 5. Ava?
The 10. So there's like 10 over here, and there's a line through it, and there's 10 over here.
Yeah, so Alexa, did you catch that? She's saying that this dark black line that you pointed out, it separates a 10s frame here and a 10s frame here. And we're combining them right in the center. All right, good job. The next one is what is on the board. Who can tell me how many red dots? How many red dots? I notice Emmanuel is counting one by one. How many red dots did you count, Emmanuel? You counted 16. Do we agree?
Yes.
Okay.
I 10 on the top.
How did you see 16? Because Emmanuel, although counting one by one, you can do that. That takes a long time. By now, we've seen 20 frames so many times. How can I look at that and quickly know that it is 16? Briseda?
Because there is 10 at the top and 6 at the bottom.
Yeah, I'm seeing it's full on top, so I know that is 10. And then I see my dark line, that's 5 plus 1, that is 16. How many blue dots do you see, Jason?
4.
You see 4. And how do you know that that's 4? Alexa?
Because it's, the blue, it's 4. Because there is a red dot. There's a red dot, and that's how we know that it's 4.
So I'm thinking that you know that this is 5 right here, right? And you see 1 red dot. So if there's 1 red dot, then the rest have to be blue. Good job. What is 16 plus 4? Jason?
It's 10.
What's 16 plus 4? On Hill?
Triple it.
It's 2 10s. What is that?
0, 2.
Not 0, 2.
Hello.
Eli?
That's 4.
No. What is 16 red dots plus 4 blue dots, Emmanuel? 20. How did you know that that's 20? Because why? Okay, but I don't even have to count to know that 16 plus 4 is 20. What can I see? Melissa?
Because 6 plus 4 equals 10.
Oh, so you're thinking something different. You're looking at, I know 6 plus 4 is 10. If I add back on that 10 and 10 is 20. That's definitely a very good strategy that you used. But how can I visually look at this and know, oh, it's 20, Kosi? It's a full 10s frame. I know that this is 20. Good job.
Say that too.
Yes. All right, look at this one. How many red dots? And how do you know? Axel? How did you know that? You see 10 on the top, you see 3 on the bottom, so you know 10, 11, 12, 13. Good job. How many red dots do you see?
Red dots.
Sorry. How many blue dots do you see?
I don't even know it.
How many blue dots do you see? On Hill? How do you see 7? You see 2, and then how many? You see 2 and 5, and you knew that 2 and 5 make 7. Good. You're getting ahead of me, Christopher. So, what is 13 plus 7? Go see. How do you know that? Because it is all full. Next one. How many red dots? Summer?
There is 17.
How do you know that?
Because there's 10 and there's 7 on the bottom.
So you see 10 on top. You know that right away. How were you able to see 7 on the bottom?
Because there was 5 and then the dark line and then 2.
You see 5 and then that dark line and then you see 2. So you know that is 17. How many blue dots do you see? Jason? You see 3 blue dots. And what do you get when you add 17 plus 3, Diana? How do you know that's 20?
Because this thing from is full of red and this thing from is full of red on top and 2 reds on bottom and 1 at the bottom.
Right. You're right. How do I know this is 20? What do you notice about the 20s frame? It is so Diana, it is full. My 20s frame is full. So I know that 17 red and 3 blue has to equal 20 because it's all filled up. It's a full 20s frame.
That doesn't say there.
What?
It isn't. There's not.
Or you see that there's 10 on the top and 10 on the bottom. All right, this is the last one. How many red do you see? Emmanuel?
Why, maybe? I know.
I'm trying to give people a chance who don't always talk. Say it again.
I see 10 reds.
Okay, stop there. I see 10 red on top, right? How many blue do you see, Christopher? How do you know? How do you know? How do you see 10 blue? How do you see 10 blue? So you might see 5 and 5. How else might you see it? Axel? 4 and 6, okay. That's a combination that makes 10. You're totally right. And 5 and 5. But how else do you see it, Alexa?
It's full.
It's full on the bottom. So I know that that is 10 blue. And then we have practiced doubles. What is 10 plus 10?
20.
It is 20.
Wait, I noticed something with that.
Good job. What do you notice?
They all equal 20. No.
That's true. They do all equal 20. What do you notice? Let's give Summer a chance to share.
In the middle of these two, it's kind of like a fact family because it's 3 plus 7 equals 13 plus 7 equals 20. 17 plus 3 equals 20.
So you're making a connection. It's using tens differently. So you're making the connection that 13 plus 7 equals 20, but 17 plus 3 equals 20. Good connection, Summer. Good noticing with that. All right. Today, we're going to continue to find combinations to 20. That's what we've been practicing. That's why we are seeing so many 20s frames lately.
Oh my gosh.
And we're going to see if you can find any patterns in the way that we make these combinations. So, I'm going to give you a problem. Are you ready? You have some candy in your pocket. Some are green and some are orange. I want you to turn and talk with your partner. What do we know so far about this problem? Go ahead, turn and talk.
And we don't know how to
Great. 3, 2, 1. What are you noticing, or what do we know about this problem? Diana D.
I noticed there are no numbers.
Oh, good noticing. So you noticed there's no numbers yet, right?
And I also noticed that there are orange candy and green candy.
Can we give some shine to Diana?
Yeah.
Shine. Those are some great input. So she said there's no numbers in our problem. And she also said that there are some orange candies and some green candies. Maybe some Jolly Ranchers.
You know something else? I hate them. I have Jolly Ranchers, but I was gonna give them to you, but I guess you don't like
Good noticing. What else do you know about this problem, or is there anything that you're like wondering or that you have questions about? Go ahead, Melissa.
I'm wondering how many they have.
How many candies they have? So Melissa is wondering how many candies. Good question. How many? I was wondering that too.
That's one of my word sounds.
I think she make like 7 or 6.
I want your
Alright. I'm going to go to the next part of our problem.
Can be some.
You have 20 pieces of candy in your pocket. Some are green and some are orange. I want you to turn and talk with your partner. What do you know now? If you want to, you can share with Diana and All right, 3, 2, and 1. What is something new that you are now noticing or wondering? Eli?
There is 20 pieces of candy.
So stop there. So you are now noticing that how many pieces of candy do we have in our pocket? We have 20.
And all over.
We have 20 candy. Is there anything else, Christopher?
I think she has 10.
Oh, stop. We're not doing anything yet. All we know is that we have 20 pieces of candy. Everything else is still staying the same. Because like Melissa said, now I'm still wondering, well, how many green candies do we have and how many orange candies do we have? Well, we don't know that. We don't know that yet. So can everybody visualize like having 20 pieces of candy in your pocket?
I don't have a
Close your eyes and visualize that you have a pocket and you have 20 pieces of candy in your pocket. Everybody see that? Yeah?
No.
Well, what can you do so that you can see that? All right. before I move to the, what, Diana? Forget?
So if it was the one and there's green and orange candies, because if you use 10 plus 10
Oh,
equals
stop there. You're getting ahead of me. Before I move on to the next part, what does this word sum mean? Sometimes we talk about how, like, the answer to an addition problem, you'll hear Ms. DeShong refer to that as sum, but that is spelled S-U-M. What does it mean if some of the candies are orange and some of the candies are green? How would you describe that, Alexa?
Like, how many candies are there?
So sum is like an amount, right? It's like an unknown amount. We don't know how many. Sum. That's an amount.
It's like not a lot and not a little.
Yeah, not a lot, maybe not a little. Good job.
Maybe just one.
All right, I am going to give you your question now. Can we listen? You have 20 pieces of candy in your pocket.
What?
Some are green and some are orange. What combinations of green and orange candies could be in your pocket? So we just did a warm-up where we were looking at different combinations that make 20. So what you're going to do, there's lots of answers to this problem. But I want you to, on your paper, show me the combinations of green and orange candies that will equal 20. I want you to either write it on your paper, draw a picture. Do we understand what our task is?
Do we have something on the back?
On the back, if you have thought of all the combinations that you could make of green and orange candies that equal 20, on the back you can go ahead, there's a blank space that says you have blank amount of candies. And you can go ahead and make your own. Now don't do anything crazy. I don't want to see like, I have 1 million candies. How many are orange? How many are green? Okay, don't do anything crazy. Either pick a number that's a little bigger than 20 or pick a number that is a little smaller than 20. Okay? Give me a thumbs up if you understand what your math task is. You understand? You make it working. I'm going to give us about 10 minutes to see what combinations of orange and green candies we can make.
I don't have better questions. I'm gonna buy it. I saw the
You
camera.
and Christopher have on the same colored sweatshirt today.
Is it everyone? Is it over there?
Start with the front side where it says you have 20 pieces of candy. Yeah. Give me 1 second, Christopher. I'll get it. Hold on. Emmanuel.
Same. It'll make me extra happy because I just got tattooed.
Ayana, can you take Axel to the bathroom, please? All right, the rest of you, come here. Now, instead of doing 20 candies, I want you to start on the back, and I want you to pretend that you have 10 pieces of candy. So, instead of having 20 pieces of candy, you have 10 pieces of candy. How many green candies and how many orange candies could you have? Okay? If you finish, you reach into your pocket and you only have 10 pieces of candy. I know, but pretend you have 10 pieces of candy in your pocket. How many are orange and how many are green? Do you understand? If you can tell me a combination, Anhil, of orange and green candies that make 10, then you can try to challenge yourself with 20. Okay, so go ahead and start with 10. Show me how many green and orange candies are in your pocket to make 10. Go. Hold on, Anhil, this is for you. Eli, you have your paper, you may go. how many orange and green candies can you have to make 10? There's lots of different ways you can do that. You understand, Diana? Or Diana? You have, how many pieces of candy are in your pocket? What do you mean? 10. How many orange and green ones could you have in your pocket that make 10? Go ahead. Maybe. Eli, look here, Eli. Here, go to your seat and I'll get my phone. Hi, Miss Hall. How are you? Good, how are you?
Good. Did you have a good weekend?
I did, yeah.
Eli, I have a pencil right here.